1, 2, 3.
States where women face prosecution for abortion. No. Are there any states that criminalize miscarriage? No. Or they care for miscarriage? No. Are there any states that criminalize removing ectopic pregnancy? No. Are there any states that prohibit pregnancy?
Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. If anyone's watching, let me know if you can hear me. I know you're not going to be able to see my video at the moment, but if you're watching, let me know if you can hear me. Alright guys, hope you're doing well. So yeah, I'm not doing a live in a while, so I'm not really expecting many people, if anyone to show. Let me just turn off this mic. That's going to sound better. So I'm probably just going to talk about a few things, and if anyone wants to ask any questions, feel free. But yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna be doing more videos. I think more news style videos. I quite enjoy them. Microphone's low. Well, let's turn that up a little bit. So yeah, let me know if that's all right. That's the best I can do at the moment. But like I said, I'm gonna try and do the videos more often, and every time I do a video, I'm gonna try and improve on the system. So yeah, I think the next time around we're gonna be getting I'm gonna be buying a proper microphone and stuff. Um, so what I thought I'd do is I'm gonna sort of share maybe share my screen for a bit until we get a few people on board. All right, so the microphone's not doing very good. Let me switch to this one. Is that a better sound? Whoever's listening, the one guy that's listening, I appreciate it, man. Is that is that a bit better? All right, cool. We're on a better microphone now, so that's going to work a little bit better. So if you got any questions, just fire away. All right, Susan, how are you doing? One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So this device needs duplicating. I am going to improve on this. I think this is just getting started again. This should work now fully. So yeah, I appreciate the people letting me know that we should be working okay now. So yeah, I'll show you my app, and if you got any questions, just fire away. So one of the reasons I built this app is to, you know, help hair analysis get easier to use. Essentially, it's really complicated. So you can sign up to the app and get plenty of different reports on hair analysis. So you can generate a report, you can click on ARL, trace elements, other. Now we've got animal reports, which is pretty cool. So you can actually generate a report for a dog, and we're bringing out a horse and cat soon, which is going to be cool. We've got messages now in the system, so you know, practitioners can send their clients various messages. I literally just set this up recently, so yeah, this is going to be a really cool feature in the future. Alright, so we do have some questions. I weren't expecting a lot of people to show up today, just because I literally did this last minute, mainly because I want to start getting back into YouTube videos. So so can you explain a little bit about the explanation of retracing random memories of old experiences are coming up? Is that a definite sign? I mean, the general consensus is, you know, when you're following the program well, the general consensus is, you know, you'll be retracing something if you've got old memories coming up to the surface. Obviously, the usual is toxins and metals. Interestingly enough, we do have a feature on the app which you can use for free, whereby if you go to program troubleshooting, this will help you a lot with figuring out whether you're going through a healing reaction or not. So it's a pretty cool feature. And one of the things you can do is you can click, you know, whether you're a male or female. We don't have different genders on here, unfortunately. You can, you know, tell the app how well you're doing the diet, because this gives us a good idea about how likely you are following, you know, how likely it is that you're going through a healing reaction. Another point here is, have you reduced your carbohydrate intake recently? So one of the reasons why that usually makes people retrace is because as soon as you reduce your carbohydrate intake, the body's no longer using energy to deal with blood sugar imbalances, so it ends up going through a detox reaction. And then other aspects of the program, you're doing enemas, saunas, meditation, reflexology. All these are going to promote healing reactions, essentially. And every time you tick on one of these, it's going to come up with an explanation. You know, so if you're not doing the program very well, not doing the diet very well, you know, you've not really ticked any of these, you're kind of going to get a low score. You know, I've built a scoring system and figuring out how well people are doing the program. So you're going to get a low score. But if you do have a high score, there's more of a chance that you're going to go through a healing reaction. So, you know, ejaculation's a big one. If you ejaculate quite often, then you're going to slow down the healing process, essentially. So on this page we've got other questions about healing reactions and retracing, so like really clear ones are metallic taste and headaches, you know, was he feeling better? So you can tick on these. So essentially what it's doing is trying to figure out how well you're doing the program. You know, once it's done that, then it's going to ask you basically symptom questions. You know, what sort of symptoms are you getting? And from this you can kind of figure out, well, you know, I'm doing the program very well. So if your score's above 500, this one was 600, it's very likely going for a healing reaction. And then if you tick these, it gives you another score on how likely it is you're dumping each one of these metals, essentially. So pretty cool way of figuring out whether you got a healing reaction or not. Are you thinking of making a membership for a regular person that's less than the gold membership. Well, if you're a regular person, then you're not going to be doing hair tests every month at least. So you just use the pay per use option, which is pay as you go. So there's no need really to create a membership for the regular person, because you can just pay when you want to, essentially. So so yeah, I'm not sure what the price is for people that are not practitioners, but you can just go through. Oh, I suppose it's going to be on the prices page. Prices. There's the practitioners. Yeah, £20. More expensive than the practitioners, because we want practitioners on the system, so it's cheaper for them. I tried GHK Basic for a month and felt no difference. Should I continue? If you've not felt any, I mean, was it? I assume this was an injection. It's interesting, peptides, because they can work extremely well for people, and then for some people, for whatever reason, they don't work. However, I am starting to have a theory around that, and I think that the theory is, if you've got low cell permeability, then you might have less response to peptides, because the peptides have got to get into the cells. It's the same with the LifeWave patches. A lot of people who have LifeWave patches don't actually experience anything, which I found odd. And then I started realising on people's hair tests, the ones that are in calcium shells in slow oxidation or extreme slow oxidation have lower cell permeability, which then means that the peptides or the light, the infrared light that the LifeWave patches use, are not piercing the cells efficiently, therefore not working as well. You know, when I tried peptides, you know, I'm a fast oxidizer, so I have higher cell permeability, and I really felt the effects. So I think it's based off cell permeability. But you could keep on trying it. I mean, I've noticed some people who keep trying. After a few months, the cell's permeability improves, and then the peptides start working a bit better. So yeah. Any updates on your health/financial journey? I know you did a video a while back. Well, my health's fine. I don't have any health problems, if that's what you're talking about. Financially, I did obviously lose a lot of money through some sort of crypto. It wasn't a scam. I mean, somebody must have found my password, which I did store electronically, which I shouldn't have done. Or there was some sort of malware on one of my devices, which I've still not figured out. So I've not got my money back. You know, I've took it on the chin. Trying to find the benefits from it. The benefits is that I'm really looking deeper into financial management and tax management and stuff. But you know, one of them things I can't really do anything about it now. So all right. So I have candidus. Do you still recommend to cut all carbohydrates? It kind of depends on the person. For me, I did cut carbohydrates dramatically. You know, you got to appreciate there are carbohydrates in vegetables. You know, so when I said cut all carbohydrates, you're not technically not having carbohydrates. It just means that you're cutting out the foods that are that have more carbohydrates in them. So, you know, the blue corn chips, all grains essentially, and then anything that converts into sugars quite quickly. So things like carrot juice does, milk will. So for me personally, I ended up basically living off mainly green vegetables for quite a long time, and I found that gave my body enough energy to end up going for a big copper dump, which is what I needed. But I was just hitting a brick wall because my carbohydrate tolerance was so sensitive, like in an extreme way. So it was a process where I stopped the blue corn chips, and then I stopped drinking milk. And then I sort of stopped the carrot juice, and then it was carrots, and then sweet potatoes, and then You know, I was essentially just eating green vegetables, cauliflower maybe, but that did it. That did the trick. Are you planning on offering an online HTMA course for regular people? I'm not planning on being a practitioner. I just want to know more about your analysis in a more in-depth way. I mean, this channel really is kind of like a hair analysis course. If you watch enough videos, you'll learn about hair analysis for free. I do recommend Dr. Wilson's book. I don't think I've got it in here. Oh, it's 2 minutes. It's pretty old. The book's pretty old now. You can tell I've had it for a long time. I mean, it's lost its front cover. I'm not sure what date this one was. But you can learn hair analysis basically from this book. You know, but at the end of the day, if I'm gonna spend hours and hours and hours, you know, creating an online course, I ain't gonna give it away for free. You know, you just can't do that. So, the online course that I'm planning on doing for the hair analysis app, you know, you'll have to pay for that. But the way that I'm going to do it is instead of charging a massive amount of money for a course, it's going to be on a membership. So anyone with the gold membership is going to be able to have access to the course. So you can pay like $125, and if you're good enough, you can literally go through the whole course in a month for that price, which is basically nothing. But if you are a subscriber, then you know you're going to get the benefits of being able to run unlimited hair analysis reports and all that sort of stuff. So yeah. I have ADHD and struggle with committing and avoid stimulation. Sometimes I overeat almond butter, sometimes I overeat cereal, chips and chocolate, and I can't even study and improve my life beside the program. It's overwhelming sometimes, but I do well with coffee and cooked vegetables and the supplements. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people say that they have ADHD. I'm not undermining really what you're saying, but a lot of people, they're so stimulated, their mind races so much, they just assume that they've got ADHD, when in reality, they're just in sort of a chronic state of fight or flight. I had commitment issues in the beginning. We all have. It's human nature. It's human nature. Like, I wasn't an angel. There was times I would eat chocolate. There was times I would binge. I was fed up. There was times I would go out with friends and drink alcohol. I don't know. There's no one on the program that's going to be completely committed all of the time for months and months on end. You know. So a lot of it is just like, you'll have a binge or you'll go out drinking and you'll feel so bad the next day that it might take you a week or a month to recover. And I just kept doing that so much that after a while I was like, I'm fed up of it. You know, and I would have really long stretches of not doing, you know, not cheating essentially on the program. And I think that's what, you know, them long stretches was the thing that helped me heal. But I don't think anyone's anyone's perfect, and I wouldn't just, you know, I wouldn't particularly say that it's because of ADHD, because I think everyone's the same. It's very, very difficult to follow this program to the letter. That's one of the reasons I think why, you know, we are trying to improve on the program with the valence supplements. You know, with integrating some peptides for some people. You know, just because the diligence is challenging, and you know, we want people to heal as efficiently as possible. You know, but I don't really have any tips apart from the fact that if you keep doing what you're doing and it makes you feel worse, after a while you'll just get so fed up of the ongoing cycle that you keep putting yourself in. You know, you'll hit that pivot point and you'll just be like, I'm just gonna stop doing whatever I'm doing. Generally that's what I find happens. Does the book have more than his website? Yeah, it does have more stuff in it than the website, but his website's very, very thorough. So you know, it's one of them things whereby if you can get the book, get the book. Everything's condensed into one book, obviously, but his website's a gold mine as well. So yeah, my course isn't ready yet. I'm sort of just slowly releasing videos on it. So what I'm doing is releasing like an hour long, usually like an hour long presentation. So the first one was on oxidation rates. So I released 10 minutes of that on YouTube, which is fine because most people don't watch YouTube for longer than 10 minutes anyway. So you get you know, people aren't down liking you because they don't end up getting to the end of the 10 minutes anyway. So that's how it's going to work. Yeah. Healing reactions affect my job life. Not sure what you think about this. Yeah, I mean, the end. You know, when you think about it, how do you deal with healing reactions? Because you've got to get that crap out of the system. You've got to get the mercury, the copper, the arsenic, the nickel out of the system, and it is going to affect your life. There's no two ways about that. So what do you do about it? I mean, one of the things that we're investigating at the moment is obviously binders. My favourite one at the moment is one called Zeocharge, and we do recommend modified citrus pectin. So the only thing I can say is try and take some binders and see if that helps with the situation. But yeah, it's one of the reasons why I work from home, why I built a business where I could work from home, because the program essentially just, in a way, kind of forced me to do that. Do coffee enemas deplete minerals? Would you recommend them during healing reactions? I think with coffee enemas, with coffee enemas, I think it's important not to do too many of them. Dr. Wilson's really gone wild on the coffee enemas recently, telling people to do way too many, in my opinion. I think if you're doing, you know, two a day is pretty much the max, in my experience, in my opinion. I think if you end up doing more, you can end up feeling depleted. I've noticed that from myself, and I've noticed that from people who do a lot of coffee enemas. So yeah, in short, yes. And I think, like anything, you know, you can do too much. You can do too much of anything. You know, sitting in the sauna for 2 hours ain't a good idea. Taking too many supplements is not a good idea. Same with coffee enemas. So, you know, if you've got really low NAK, you've got really low sodium and potassium, you probably don't want to be doing more than a couple of enemas a day. Can I still develop with cheating? Depends how often you cheat, you know. I cheated now and again. You know, how bad's the cheating? You know, if you're doing it all the time, then probably not, no. How does the sauna help with detox? Well, all it does, it warms your body up. It increases your oxygenation, it increases your circulation, it induces sweating, and sweating draws out toxins. So, yeah. I bought Nerve Calm. Will it speed up getting out of follows? I'm not too sure. I mean, you know, it was me that actually it was me that sort of said to the group, we need to create some sort of supplement to help people in sympathetic dominance. Sympathetic dominance is when someone is in, you know, a potassium of 4 or below. And essentially what's going on in the body, they're a slow oxidizer, which is technically a parasympathetic state, but their nervous system is trying to act like a fast oxidizer. It's trying to be in a sympathetic state. So you get this weird combination of the body's in parasympathetic, but also trying to act as if it's in sympathetic, and there's a big clash. And the main way we get people to try and get out of this is to slow down the thinking, because the thinking generally keeps people in this pattern. But people don't do the meditation very well. So you know, when I get a client who's in sympathetic dominance, there's a part of me that's like, oh my god, because it's so difficult to get out of. So we designed it for sympathetic dominance. So you know, we'll see whether it pushes people out of follows quick or not. I don't know. Hey Lewis, I just took Nerve Calm. I just got Nerve Calm in the mail today. Looking forward to trying it out before bed. Try it out. It's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. I'm a fast oxidizer. So I have more of a sympathetic state, but I do tend to feel things, you know, quite well, quite attuned to my body, and I love it. I think it's great. Probably one of my favourite supplements, to be honest. if you're interested in what I'm talking about, nerve calm, you just want to go to Rowlands nutraceuticals.com, and this is a supplement line that we've created with Aaron Hyatt from Redox Stasis on Instagram, and Matt Kaufman. So if you're interested, yeah, just check them out on Instagram. Redox Stasis, Integrative Thoughts, and Valence Nutraceuticals. But yeah, Nerve Calm's out now. Here it is. It's a beautiful supplement, man. It's really good. Anyone struggling with low testosterone, we've got He-Man. Cell Restore, so basically a TMG replacement, helps with methylation. A lot of amazing things for cellular restoration. Lithium, we thought that lithium needed more attention on the program, so create this lithium supplement. Thyrospork, thyro complex replacement. All organic, organic adrenal glandular, organic pituitary glandular, organic thyroid glandular, spleen powder. NAK up, this is a super version of Limcomin. Really, we should stop comparing them, to be honest. Slow Ox, so this is slow oxidation supplement. Bile flow, digestive aid. Zinc, high NAK, CalMag Fusion, calcium, magnesium. These are all superior products. I mean, I'm blown away by them. They really hit nicely. Alright, I can't spend too long on here because the wife wants me to cook dinner. Do you recommend Megapan for slow oxidation? Not really, no. I really don't like the inactive B vitamins. I suffered from B vitamin overload from Megapan, and this is the reason why we've created Slow Ox. So this has got all active ingredients of B vitamins, superior ingredients, and yeah, just way better. The problem is with inactive ingredients, you know, like an inactive version of vitamin B6, is the body has to convert it into an active version. So it's already stressed out, it doesn't need more stress. And if the liver's really damaged, like most people's are, including how mine was, that conversion process struggles to happen, and you get a build-up of B6, and it's not a very nice feeling. It's pretty rough, to be fair. If detoxing with the sauna and coffee enema, will the excretion show up on a hair test? Could it be that someone will have a major dump but it won't show on a hair test because it was detoxed another way? Yeah, so usually if you have a really big dump, it's going to show up on a hair test, and usually if you have a regular sort of dump, it's going to show up on a retest. Sometimes it doesn't, especially if you're just trickling things out, something like copper for example, but it's usually you see tiny changes. But I do find you know, P tests quite useful. You know, I have a Oseumex. So I have a bunch of these P tests. Where are they? For 2 minutes. I have a bunch of these P tests. Oh, there we are, heavy metal test. That you can just keep in the drawer, and whenever you feel like you're going through a healing reaction, you can use it. So this is like a general test here. It tests for cadmium, cobalt, copper, lead, manganese, mercury, nickel and zinc. Obviously doesn't test for everything, but it does a pretty good job at giving you a good idea of what's going off in the system instantly. But yeah, usually it'll show up. Have you seen people improve slow comped breakdown? Maybe you need to explain what that is. Am I not up to scratch with something? Slow comped. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm very up to scratch on this particular genetic condition, so I'm probably not going to comment on it for the moment. I mean, I suppose I've just not had any clients really have this bring this problem up to me, so I've not really looked into it. So probably best for me to not say anything about it. Can this program reverse aging, grey hair, skin appearance, and so on? I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, you know, if you look at what's the guy on Instagram that's spending millions on age reversal, you can clearly tell that he's actually reversed his age. So I think, you know, it's important to realise that there's two different types of age. There's like visual and there's just body. So people can visually age, but their actual body age, if they do tests on like you know, how much their lungs can take in oxygen, you know, how much hemoglobin they've got, you know, how much CO2 they can process, etc. You can figure out like biological age, you know. So some people struggle to reverse, you know, things like grey hair or receding hairlines just because it's kind of genetic sometimes. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely gonna help doing the program to improve, you know, the aging process. I always avoid the pulling down exercise. Any advice? You know, there's a really good app called Newcalm. So if you go to www.newcalm.com, so this is an app that helps people, if you know, who struggle a little bit. So it's just like vibrations, and there's different vibrations for different brain wavelengths. So you get, you know, beta, delta, alpha, etc., etc. And you can download this app, pop it in, click on sleep and recovery, and just listen to that for 20 minutes, and that should definitely help, you know, get you started on the pulling down exercise. But the key thing on the pulling down exercise really is to try and slow down the mind. So you got to really concentrate on the fingers. But people find it difficult because the mind is so active. And one of the reasons why we've created Nerve Calm, because people just struggle so much with just calming the mind down. It's a challenge. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, there are some herbs, etc. inside the supplement. I mean, at the end of the day, can you create a supplement for every single person that's with every single condition? I just don't think you can, unfortunately. So if it's something you can't handle, then, you know, obviously I apologise for that. But there's always something, you know, even on the programme, someone's always got some sensitivity or a genetic condition, they can't do X, Y and Z, so we've just got to say, unfortunately, you can't, you know, eat that vegetable because of this particular condition, or you can't take that supplement because of this particular condition. That's just how it is. I've not come across a programme, you know, apart from maybe drinking water. It's not really a programme that literally is fine for everyone, so you know, I'm sorry about that. Any advice for not feeling the pulling down exercises powerfully as you used to? I think that a lot of people feel it really powerfully in the beginning because the body's so blocked up energetically, so it gets locked, the energy gets blocked and locked, and but it bottlenecks, so you can actually feel the energy quite intensely because of the bottlenecks. So I think if you've been doing the pulling down exercise for a long time and you don't feel the intensity of it as much, it's probably a good thing. You know, I was the same in the beginning where I could really feel it, and the more I did it, the more my energy just flowed through my body because there were less bottlenecks, and you know, it was just flowing easier. So I don't really see it as a bad thing if it becomes less intense, but I see it as a good thing. Is there a link between estrogen dominant and slow oxidation? Yeah, usually people in slow oxidation tend to be more estrogen dominant. Slow oxidation is linked more to you know, slow conversion of energy and, you know, low ATP, but it's usually connected to copper toxicity, copper bioavailability. So anyone that's in slow oxidation generally has weak adrenal glands, low ceruloplasmin, zinc deficiency, and that all leads to you know, estrogen increasing. So definitely linked. Do you recommend steam sauna? Dr. Wilson did recently. So interestingly enough, and you know, I don't want my head to get big, but there's a lot of things that I've said that Dr. Wilson's ended up saying is true. And one of the things that I've said is that I think steam saunas are pretty good for people, especially because the infrared saunas, people can get EMF sensitive. People are so EMF sensitive that even the infrared saunas are challenging for people. So that's one thing that I sort of started saying early on, especially and with the Megapan, I started saying early on that the infrared saunas for people that are sensitive to EMFs are not very good. And you know, there's a big argument that, oh, it's low in EMFs, and you know, I've created a bulb that's really low in EMFs. At the end of the day, it's not zero in EMFs. And if you're really sensitive to EMF frequencies, the infrared sauna is not good. So the second best, or the second most kind of available for people, would be a steam sauna. So I think any sauna is better than no sauna. You know, so when I was EMF sensitive, I moved to a steam sauna, and I still got the benefits of the detox, etc. So it's interesting that now Dr. Wilson's kind of promoting it too. So yeah, alright, Robert Seelig, he's a bit of a veteran in the space. 56 to 62, you enter a 7-year Saturn cycle. That's when we notice our aging. So there we go, that's a bit of information from Robert there. Between 56 and 62 is when you notice aging. I'm not quite there yet. A few more years. Thoughts on canned vegetables? So yeah, what do I think about canned vegetables? So look, at the end of the day, you know, organic vegetables are the best, and then fresh vegetables. But if you if you can't get them two things, a can of vegetables is going to be better than something else. You know, when I was really ill and I was travelling around maybe, or going away to a different country, I only could really rely on canned vegetables when I used to go into a supermarket. So I always used to carry a can opener in my bag and a spoon, and I would eat canned vegetables. They're not very nice, you know, and I would assume that you could probably afford, you know, even just fresh vegetables if they're not organic. But yeah, if you've got nothing else, then have canned vegetables, but they just don't taste as good. Introduced ThyroSport, CalMag Fusion, Bioflow Plus instead of the aerial ones, and got incredible insomnia, merely 3 hours sleep instead of 8. Thoughts? I mean, it's difficult to comment because I don't know, you know, your situation or your story. However, you know, one of the things that the supplements will tend to do is detox quicker. You really need to speak to your practitioner, because if you've got other symptoms, you might be detoxing aluminum, for example, which is quite common on CalMag Fusion. Your program also might have changed, you know, so you might not need ThyroSpark anymore, which is quite stimulating. You know, Bioflow Plus, that's pretty powerful for killing parasites. You know, so my advice would be to probably, you know, slow down on the supplements, speak to your practitioner, and try and figure out what's actually going off. Whether you're going through a healing reaction, whether your program's changed. You know, usually it's one of them too. You know, so I definitely wouldn't keep pushing through if you're just having 3 hours of sleep. I'll speak to your practitioner and figure out, you know, what you think is going off, whether it's a healing reaction. However, like I said to you before, if you might have only just come into this, but if you sign up to the Hair Analysis Report app, we do have a little healing reaction app that is quite useful. So if you go through the questions on that app, you will need a login, you will need to sign up. However, if you, oh god, I don't want to show everyone that, but if you log into there, maybe I could do it from the client app. Yeah, if you log in, you will see troubleshooting. So if you click on that, that's gonna yeah, that's going to give you an app which is going to help with figuring out whether you're going for a healing reaction or not. So that could help your situation. Can ender veggies replace cooked vegetables? No, I would definitely not do that. I would definitely eat your vegetables. 80% compliance will go a long way in your healing, from Robert Seelig. I agree. Yeah, you want to be doing the program about 80%. How do I know if I'm EMF sensitive? Usually you will get irritable around computers, you'll get irritable around routers, you might get irritable when you're using your phone, you know, you might get rashes, you know, it's probably the main ones really. I mean, if you feel irritable around a computer or a router, your heart starts beating quicker or something like that, then the chances are you're sensitive to EMFs. I retrace some kind of old virus and I am feeling really good, in a way but worse because my defences are gone. How do I find myself again? Yeah, I mean, you know, one of the things that happens on the program and when you're healing is that you'll retrace a virus or you'll remove some metals, and that is like a positive stressor. But the problem is that it stresses your body. Like, actually going through a healing reaction stresses your body. So once the healing reaction's finished, you might feel more fatigued and more weak in a sense, because your adrenal glands, your thyroid, your liver's just gone through a massive amount of stress. So it's one of them sometimes it can feel on the program like it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Technically it's 3 steps forward, because you're doing something that's important. You're doing something that's healing. If you're removing a metal, that's a positive thing, you know. But it might feel like you've gone backwards because your body's catching up with the stress that it's just gone under, you know. So Robert's saying 1 coffee enema a day, the second one might be bad. Yeah, I mean, I generally find 1 to 2 a day, you know, no more than 2 a day, definitely. For people that are really depleted, especially in a follow pattern, you probably want to do one a day. But that's the limit. I don't know, Dr. Wilson's gone on a weird rampage recently, saying 4 a day, 5 a day, you know, 4 teaspoons of coffee. I definitely don't recommend that. It's not great. So I'm going to probably do a couple more and then I'm going to shoot, but I am going to try and make this whole process easier with some sort of sign-up system. Does EMF sensitivity go away as metals go away? Well, that happened to me. It's usually copper that needs to get dealt with. Anything that's conductive, mercury, you know, manganese, aluminum. Increasing your iodine is really important as well. But eventually, you know, I had severe EMF sensitivity to a point where I actually had to sleep in a Faraday cage. That's how bad it was. So I'm testament to the fact that the program can deal with EMF sensitivity. GB3 gives me a looser stool. I don't have this with Bioflow Plus. How is that possible, as they are quite similar? You know, they're not really similar. I mean, you know, Bioflow Plus has some TUDCA in it, which helps the liver detoxify better. So it could be that. But yeah, they're not really the same. They're both digestive aids, but they do have different ingredients in them. So, you know, it's probably some sort of ingredient, either that's improving, or some ingredient that, you know, we've improved upon. But yeah, they're kind of different products, really. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching, and sorry I've not got to all of your comments, but I am going to make this whole process better by providing some sort of system where we can send out a newsletter, and I am going to start moving to X. X is the new platform for free speech and for, you know, honest, open discussion. We've been shadow banned on YouTube, and I think X is going to be the new platform for videos. Alright guys, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.